Good morning, everyone. This safety moment comes to ensure the safety of our staff and our esteemed guests. Display to you is the evacuation map for this building. But before getting into that, I would like to remind all of us of our current location. We are located in CAFT Area 3. It's IDF building 3.004. The west side, on the second floor, the auditorium. As you can see, or before that even, I would like to confirm that we have no fire drills scheduled for today. So in case the fire alarm is activated, kindly listen carefully and follow the instructions provided in the voice messages from the evacuation systems or from our assigned personnel to this floor. But in case any evacuation is required, God forbid, the general procedures are as follow. So you simply head to the green zone through the exit corridor to the exit stair indicated in red here. Then you make it all the way down and out of the building. Then once you are out, you just head straight to the assembly points assigned. As you can see below, we have two assembly points assigned, one at the Wadi area and the other one in blue at CAFT Grand Mosque. That's pretty much it, and I wish you a safe and a warm day.
Thank you, Ibrahim. My name is Glenn Sword. I've been working in manufacturing for 30 years, and a consistent theme of that 30 years has been continuous improvement. Improving processes, improving manufacturing, improving quality, reducing costs. And today what we're going to do is we're going to share a little bit about how to boost your productivity with lean manufacturing. So I'm going to share with you some of the basic principles that we've applied here at SIDF. And then we have 3 case studies from 3 of our clients over the last 2 years where, rather than listen to me talk for an hour and a half, we're going to get to share their success stories, what they've learned, what they've achieved, and what they continue to do, which for me is the most rewarding. I think the first question is why? Why do companies do continuous improvement? Why do they use lean manufacturing to drive improvement? Well, normally it's related to the business challenge. What we see in industry is increasing customer expectations. They want a lower cost, they want better quality, they want better service. Customers want increased functionality, better design. But in reality, as a business, you face a challenging business environment. Costs go up, manpower costs, the regulations get tougher, raw materials are more expensive, the cost of land, real estate, and technology continues to go up. What we also recognize if we look back over history, standing still is not an option. If you look at automotive, the changes in automotive since the beginning of the car, the functionality, the quality, the capability, the efficiency, the power has changed. And now we have a huge disruption, the move from the internal combustion engine to electric vehicles. So standing still in automotive is not optional. So at the moment we see some of the existing players that have been around for a long time, for 50 years, are being threatened with extinction by the Chinese who've jumped onto the electric vehicle bandwagon quickly. But if you look at smartphones, in the late 90s, the early 2000s, everybody had a Nokia. Now Nokia is almost gone. It barely exists. We moved from Nokia to BlackBerry. Everybody enjoyed playing on their BlackBerry. But again, BlackBerry is almost gone. Now it's Apple, it's Samsung, and if you don't have the smartphone functionality, you're extinct. So the lesson is standing still to do what we've always done is not acceptable. Over time, it might not happen this year or next year, but over time, if you don't continue to improve, you're not going to survive. So the next question is, okay, if we understand that we need to improve, we need to get better, we need to become more competitive, the question is, how do we do that? And there are many, many different methodologies and tools and techniques that people will try and sell you. And working at big companies over the last 30 years, I've been the victim of consultancies trying to sell me different solutions, rebranding the same solution and trying to sell it back to me 3 years later. And this is a problem. So what we did was we saw an opportunity to help our clients, to help the ecosystem within the kingdom. And this has been one of the challenges at SIDF from our CEO. How do we enable our clients in a different way? Not just as a financial institution, but in other ways. And what we saw was the output from the Modem 100 factory initiative, the Industry 4 Syria assessments. The outcome from those assessments showed that most of the companies within Saudi Arabia classified as pre-lean. So we saw this as a key opportunity. And what we thought was we can design a program to help our clients and to help the ecosystem. And what we knew that to learn properly, the learning needs to be immersive, it needs to be hands-on, that people need to be active participants and not, people don't want a presentation. What our clients told us, the people we visited, was we need practical help. We don't need a report, a McKinsey-style report. We need practical help in making the first steps. So this was our challenge, to help build capability within the ecosystem, to help build capability at SIDF, and to do this in a way which enables us to support a diverse manufacturing environment, but do this in a scalable way. So the methodology we've used and we've leveraged is really the first step on that Syria assessment, lean manufacturing. It's very simple. The principles are very simple. It's all about looking at your manufacturing process and identifying what are the conversion steps, the value-added steps, and what is the waste. So the 8 wastes are listed on the right-hand side. And what we found over time is that potentially up to around 95% of manufacturing lead time is waste. It's spent doing one of those 8 things listed on the screen. So to go analyze the process, to identify the waste, and not do what engineers normally do. Engineers normally focus on the conversion step. How do I make the machine go faster? How do I buy a faster machine? How do I make the drill go faster? The reality is you can spend a lot of time and money focusing on that, and it makes very little difference to the outcome of the manufacturing process. So we want to try to get people to look in a slightly different way. Now this technique has been around since the 1950s and was originally developed by Toyota. But now it's a world-class methodology, and it's used in many industries, many sectors, manufacturing, healthcare, finance, you name it, it works and it applies. So we thought, okay, how do we apply this? The other thing we thought about was looking back to the basic principles. So the basic principle, the first principle, is understanding the value. What is it that the customer wants to pay for? And in reality, the customer doesn't care where your factory is, doesn't care whether it's in Sudan or in China. What he wants is his product, and that's the value. How you do that, the manufacturing process, the value stream, as it's called, is yours to manage. The customer doesn't really care. They just want the product. So the lean principle tells us to go look at the process, to analyze the process, to identify the waste and variation, and to try then to create flow by eliminating the waste and the variation in the process, and to try and become more customer focused, more reactive to the customer, smaller batches, faster. And then the 5th principle is, it doesn't matter what you do, it's never good enough. Yeah? Whatever you do, you have to continue to improve. So I've been working in manufacturing for 30 years. It's never good enough. There's always someone doing it faster, better, cheaper. Yeah? As we globalize in terms of manufacturing, that challenge has become harder. The rate of improvement has become faster, but the best companies, the world-class companies, are the people that do this the best. So that was the process we looked at, and these are the principles we've tried to apply. And there's something I learned a long, long time ago. If you don't spend the time doing this, it's not going to happen. So this is something which was developed by one of the original Toyota architects, a guy called Maseki Imai. And it's called the Kaizen flag. But basically it looks at the different levels in the organization. It looks at what you spend your time doing, or where you should spend your time. And if you take something out of today, reflect on this. The dark blue triangle is the daily operation. This is the day job. This is making the product. This is managing the absenteeism. This is the suppliers not delivering on time. This is machines breaking down. This is the operation. This is the day job. And that consumes time and energy and stress and everything else. The light blue section, the continuous improvement, this is the time you should spend at the different levels in the organization focused on the existing manufacturing process and improving it. And I don't mean putting the fire out. I don't mean fixing the machine. I mean stopping the problem happening again. So structured, data-driven, continuous improvement. And if you don't spend the time improving the day-to-day operation, it's not going to get better. It might get better next week, but it'll get worse again the week after. So what I want you to reflect on is how much time do you actually spend? And if you look at this, we're talking about workers, team leaders, middle managers, and top managers. The time should be allocated in the ideal world to improving the current process. And then what we see in the top left-hand corner of that box is strategy and innovation. So this is the time top managers, middle managers should be spending on where are we going to be in the next 5 years? What are the products we're going to make? What is the technology we're going to use? So that we don't get left behind by the industry, by the sector. You may decide, actually, I don't want to be in this sector at all anymore. It's not profitable enough. I want to move. I want to do something else. But if you don't make that conscious decision, if you don't have that strategic plan, over time, you're going to get left behind. So the challenge of this model is it's very, very hard to do it in the time allocation that's set out in the chart we're looking at. But in reality, if you're not applying that time, the process isn't going to improve and the business isn't going to get better. What we tend to find is people are operating 2 or 3 layers below where they should be. They're too focused on the day job. They're too focused on the day-to-day activity and not focused enough on improving that business process that you have, that manufacturing process, and spend little or no time at all thinking about where are they going to be in 3 to 5 years. So this is the challenge at a leadership level, is invest the time. Invest the time to drive the improvement. So with all of those learnings in place, we developed a program here at SIDF to give direct and practical support to our clients and to the participants of the program. And we had 2 real goals, really, was to improve the client's capability and performance and to build capability within our own SIDF team. So we developed a program which is spread out over 12 weeks. And during that 12 weeks, we have teams, that each team consists of 2 SIDF engineers, 2 engineers from a host company. And they work together 2 days a week in tandem to improve the process. So there's 3 days of basic training here at SIDF through the academy. And then the guys go into 3 weeks of analysis, detailed analysis, to understand the process, the problems, to surface the biggest opportunities to improve, and then to move to the next step, which is about developing solutions. And then move from that solution development into implementation, and then measure the results of the improvement. Sometimes it works, first time. Sometimes we need to go back, we tweak, we improve again. And that's been our program over the last 2 years. This year we started in July and we ended in September. Last year we did something similar. But the results have been impressive. They've probably exceeded our expectations. Last year we had 4 different companies taking part, and I think the results surprised us and some of the participants we have here today. This year we worked with another group of companies, this year with 6. And again, our results have been impressive. And I think we've delighted our clients in the impact we've made. So that's what we've done at SIDF. That's been our program and the simple methodology we've used. And so what I'd like to do now is, rather than talk more about theory, is to pass you over to to Faisal Nachi. Aniken's going to talk about his improvement journey from this year. So, Faisal.
I had a few notes, but I think I will pass. Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you for having us. It's a pleasure to be here. It's our honor to attend this session with you. And I will be more than happy to share the experience that we had in Newfab. So to start, this is the team that was involved. As Mr. Glenn mentioned, we had actually, as boots on the ground, we had the two gentlemen from the SIDF with one or two engineers from our company, and they worked together on this project. But first, let us introduce Newfab. So we work as a prefabricated building manufacturer. We are based in the kingdom since more than 40 years, sorry. We have one of the highest production capacity in the Middle East. When I joined myself the company 8 years ago, I joined as a project manager in Algeria, working for Total on a gas field, building a full campus for them. Until the late development, basically all the PIF companies now, we were mostly focusing on Aramco, on the defense industry to build camps, labor camps, and also barracks for the army. So this will give you an idea of the original type of work that we used to do. However, the market evolved and things changed drastically, and we went from catering for purely site constructions to working on hospitality projects, which require a change in our offering. So we had to develop new products. Instead of building standard porta cabins and campuses, now we're doing hotels. We're doing multi-story hotels, 3, 4, 5-story hotels, which is a completely different manufacturing system and methodology in the work. And this is where later on I'm going to start speaking about the role of SIDF in this specific development here. Okay, this is the typical, let me just, okay. So I will not mainly focus on the numbers and the work that was done, but what I need you to do is to live the journey with me, because from a management point of view, it's completely different from how it is perceived later on. What happened is when we went into this new industry, we've noticed that our production capacity drastically fell down. So instead of, as I was mentioning, we have the highest capacity in the region, things start go down. The disadvantage that we have is contrary to other industry where the automation is very high, we have a high number of manpower involved in the process. And what I need you to imagine with me is that you have a production line, you have a lot of cutting, chamfering, welding machines. It's only steel structure because we need to build a box, a cage. This box is the unit that will be installed inside. And it's like Lego. We will put one unit beside the other, then on top of it, and we will assemble all these units together. So the team that is working now, it's like steel structure, but in a modular way. So that's why we call it now caging system, modern methods of construction. So to get this steel work done properly, there's a lot of work that will be done manually, from steel cutting, having the cutting list, having all this data assembled together. And then we have the second part where we start, the finishing of this product. And on this part, at the beginning, we start noticing a drop. First, in one of the projects that we had in Neom, one major project, 3-story building, 12,000 square meter, we start incurring delays. And every time I talk to the team, everyone has justification. Everyone has an excuse. The typical reaction is, let's start giving overtime. Let's start recruit more welders. Let's start invest in more cutting tools. No one was properly studying the problem. And in my capacity as a general manager of the company, I went to the line. Mr. Glenn was just mentioning spending the time. I tried to, but I don't have an unlimited time to spend on the line. So I I tried to recommend some solutions. I tried to even later on start threatening with maybe firing some people. This is the real life. So, and I wasn't able to reach a satisfactory solution at the end. And there's a major problem that you will face, in my opinion, is that the ego of the people involved. Because everyone with maybe 10 years of experience, someone who executed projects worth billions sometimes, and you're coming telling them, like, gentlemen, thank you so much. I respect, I understand, I admire maybe your experience, but in reality, something's wrong. And people will not typically accept this statement. And maybe it's the other way around. It will create a negative reaction here. So, and I tried to bring a private company to do some consultancy, but as we mentioned, we don't need PowerPoints. What we need most is people who understand the problem and be boots on the ground, finding the solution. So this was a very critical moment, and it happened that we got introduced to this amazing initiative led by SIDF. And here I will go to the second step. So on a personal level, I was extremely encouraging this initiative. However, when the team reached the factory, obviously the first reaction of everyone is always defensive. So they need to step back, and maybe the best case is they will keep doing what they are doing, but in reality what will happen is they will start throwing the responsibility on others. They are here, they can't change anything, who they think they are, what the experience that they have. And things becomes to get clear from a management point of view, but it's hard to translate it to something practical. And this is where SIDF team did a fantastic job. Because before, honestly speaking, about all these methodologies, the most important part is building the link, the connection with the people. So people will not feel threatened. I'm a plant manager, or I'm a section lead engineer for maybe 10 years, and now they are going to judge me, now they are going maybe to fire me later on. And this for me was like a very important point. So to have this human connection with the team, this really made a huge difference for us. We were maybe warned a bit by Mr. Glenn and his team that at the beginning we might have a slight like hockey style curve. So at the beginning maybe things will go down, then go up. But luckily in our case, it didn't happen. 4 weeks within the program, we start feeling the change. People start understanding the impact of this initiative. And now what we are showing here are the typical procedures that are used by the team. But I wanted just at the beginning to emphasize the importance of the human factor, whether at management level to define the problem, try to communicate it, but also to create this connection. And that I give all credit to the SIDF team. So they knew how to deal with the team, how to get them on board in analyzing and later on applying the solutions. So they analyzed here. I'm going to go a bit fast on them. We reviewed the factory layout. They've done all the sampling, the cycle time analysis, what we call it the spaghetti, how the process, how the flow of the work is being done. Back to our specific case here, what I want to focus on is another point as on top of the human factor is try to focus on where you believe you will have the highest added value. Let's not change the entire process altogether. In our case, the first part, which concerned the cutting, grinding, assembly, and all the proper welding of the assembly, this was the critical path. And this is where we focused on. And this is where the team spent the time calculating the performance on the ground, calculating the time spent per each station, and how we can improve it. So this will give even a better idea here. So you can imagine you have an assembly line that is roughly 10,000 square meter. We are focused here on the first part of it. You have here roughly 80 people working. And we ended up identifying all the enablers because you have all the blocking points that will prevent you from developing the proper solution. And what happened is that people who are on the ground, they get almost blinded because they are focused on their work. They want to improve so much their performance. Everyone is with the goodwill trying to work, but there's no proper coordination between everyone. It's like an orchestra who's playing music. So everyone wants to be the best on his own tool, but we are not playing music all together. And this is where the analysis of the team was clear, bringing everyone together. It's not always as simple as that. Sometimes, of course, there's people pushing back. But the idea is that I cannot emphasize enough the positive impact the team has played in educating the team. Because at the end of the day, you cannot force anyone to do something that they are not convinced with. So now in terms of results, to put some numbers on the percentage on these, like we have different products, we have different assembly line, but on this specific product, we will be able to achieve an increase, I would have said even almost 40% of productivity, all while stopping the bleeding, in terms of cost of overtime and extra manpower. So we reduced our manpower, we stopped the overtime, and our productivity went up by 34%. That's why I said in my mind it's almost 40, because when I look at it from all perspective, it will be 40% for this product. This was for the team a very eye-opening experience. I will end up with what's next. Until that time, they didn't adhere to the concept of lean manufacturing or all the methodologies that can help in moving forward. And what is interesting for me now is that now they come to me for different topics, for sometimes something related to the finishing, sometimes related to the supply chain management, sometimes related to the other products that we have. And now they are proposing solution. So I cannot emphasize enough the role of the management in not only encouraging people, but letting them understand the importance of it. So for me, what you are saying here is the direct impact, but also I have the indirect, which is the cultural change that SIDF, thank to you, Mr. Glenn, and to your team, was able to trigger, let's say, in the company. So I just wanted to share my experience in a brief way. I hope it's okay for you, and if you have any questions, please feel free.
So it sounds like we did an okay job at Newfab. And what I'd like to do now is introduce Wael Al-Dosari. We worked with Wael last year, and he's going to share his story, but he's going to share what's happened since, because it's been over a year since we worked together. And I think he has a good story to share. So Wael.
Assalamu alaikum jami'an. Good morning. My name is Wael Al-Dosari. I'm working in Tasni' Group. Tasni' Group, it have more than 17 companies owned by Tasni'. Either it's partially or owned by Tasni' 100%. Rasas is one of the companies that Tasni' invest in it. And they own the company 100%, belong to Tasni'. This is our team. Of course, this is second time I join this session, Lean Manufacturing Program. Last year, we participate in this program, and the result was very sufficient, but unfortunately, it was not in the beginning of the year. So the result that we get in 2023, it's completely different than 2024. The financial or the value of saving and the value of increasing the revenue, it's became more clear in 2024 when we calculate from the beginning of the year up to the last month. So this is our team that they participate in the program last year. From Rasas, we have engineer Mohammed Gaufashi. He have master degree from USA. And Ali Mujammami also he have a master degree from America, from USA. Allah يذكره بالخير. Yazid al-Zamil, one of SIDF project analyst, and engineer Abdullah Saif, يعطيه العافية موجود, under the leadership of Mr. Glenn. So let me give you a brief about our company. It's started in 1992 and the commissioning was in 1990. Started in 1990 and the beginning of the company the commissioning it was in 1992. Our company, it's recycling the scrap battery from the cars, the lead acid battery. So please, any one of you, he have a battery and he's planning to change it, don't give it to the buncher and give it to me. I will give you my contact number. It's a value for us. We, from the beginning of our company, we recycle more than 1.8 million ton. And we can imagine if this quantity, it's not being recycled and produce a finished good with very high purity, what will happen to our environment? I will be honest with you, the lead acid battery is very hazard plant, and the lead in the blood, it's very risky for the health of the people. So that's why we are doing our best to digitalize our production line. We are producing three main products. The lead with different specification. We are reaching 99.985 purity. And we are producing also the plastic, the polypropylene. And we are producing also sodium sulfate. This is our products. In our achievement, maybe it's very simple, but it's giving us a very good saving and a very good increasing in the production. So we are loading the material in the furnaces for smelting. What we was doing, that we are weighing the material one by one and loading it in the furnace. So the team with SIDF, they work and find a solution to reduce the time of the loading. So what we have done, that we are taking the weight completely, prepare it in a corner, then we put it all together in the furnace, which saving a very big time. So it was really very good achievement. In the beginning of this year, I stopped my production for more than 40 days to do a maintenance or preventive maintenance for my equipment, which is impacting my target as a production in the year. But the management, they accept when I do my calculation and I say to them, I will reach more than the target if you allow me to stop, because if I don't do this one, I will have significant impact in my production and some of the problem in the production. So they accept it, but they say you have to give us the target. Otherwise, you will not get a good performance this year. I'm very happy of what we have achieved, because now we are in the end of the year and I'm approximately above the target. Alhamdulillah for this one. One of other things that we implement, and when I say that these things we implemented, it's cost nothing because we don't invest any money in it. So one of it is the crushing of the battery and utilizing the people, or let's say the time. In the beginning, it was during the shift, we will stop the operation. The operator, he will leave, or the supervisor. Then the other shift, he will come and he will start the operation again. So we make a little bit different. We change in the shifting time. So 1 hour between both of them, they will join together, hand over the work. The first shift he will leave, second shift he will continue from there. There is a lot of saving in time in this one, which increase in our production continuously. And this is also one of the achievements that we have done last year, and this year it was very clear for our financial department. And our revenue is increased maybe about 23%. And we can say that we are in very good shape for the next project that we will do in 2025. Okay, sorry. One of the things that Tasni' is concentrating in the goals for 2025 is the digitalization and the automation. And this was part of the discussion with SIDF in the last year. But for the top management, when they see the result that we have achieved in this year, 2024, they force us to put these things as a target for 2025. So we have a digitalization and we have the automation as a target for us in next year. And alhamdulillah, we have the budget now, because last year we was not identifying any amount for these things, but we have now more than 15 million specialized for only digitalization and automation in my factory. And I think one of the most I will not say that we faced a lot of big challenge, but one of the things that the top management support and willing to implement these changes. So our general manager, Abdurrahman al-Zahrani, was one of the managers that he implement a lot of changes that it have not done maybe in the last 20 years in the company. So the commitment from the top management to implement this change is one of the key achievements for all these things. So thank you very much for this IDF, led by Glenn. Thank you, Yazid Zamil. Thank you, Abdullah Saif. And I would like to say that the engineer that you work with them in this program, now they became like a mentor for our team in Rasas, and they start to transfer this knowledge to the other employees and other engineers. So thank you very much, and thank you for your listening.
Thank you, Wael. And I guess some reflection from me on Rasas. To go back and find out that the guys have been promoted, to go back and find out they're mentoring other people, there's continued learning. And you told me this is one of the top 5 achievements for the group. Is a return on my investment. It's great for us to hear. So next we have our final presenter, Iyad Al Khalifa from Aliaf. I think this is probably the smallest company, but the message is very similar in terms of success and improvements. So Iyad, over to you.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everyone. My name is Iyad Al Khalifa. I'm General Manager of Arabian Fiberglass Products Company. The company established in 1980. We are specialized in producing fiberglass enclosures, including meter boxes for electrical utilities, water meter boxes, and low voltage distribution panels. Basically, anything you see in front of your home wall is from utility boxes is ours. I would like to take you back in time and take you with me in our company journey toward this program. In 2009, everybody remembers the global economical crisis that happened. And as a result of that, the management team has came up with a mitigation plan tackling three main topics, which is efficiency improvement, digitalization, and automation. In terms of digitalization, we introduced the ERP system to the company, which was beneficial for us. And in terms of automation, unfortunately at that time, no much engineering companies, local engineering companies experienced in automation were available in the kingdom. So we tried to find other companies, foreign companies to help us in that. But due to some logistic problems or obstacles, we made some few steps, small steps toward automation. And then the Kingdom Vision 2030 came up. And one of the vision pillars is the NIDLIP program, and from that many programs emerged by different institutes and government authorities to develop the manufacturing process and so on. One of these programs is the Lean Manufacturing Program adopted by SIDF. And we were lucky enough to enroll in this program, and we've been selected to this program. A small initial study had been done, and from that study, we were selected to go further in that analysis and study. First, I would like to share with you my, what I call them the STARS team, formed by members from SIDF and our company, of course. Mr. Glenn, Mr. Tariq Al-Hadli, and Mr. Mohammed Al-Ghamdi from SIDF, and from our team, Mr. Benau and Qasim Sudagar. Basically, when the team has started this program, starting the analysis, first we identified the production line subject to this analysis, and targets were set, challenging actually targets were set for this program. The team started the analysis. They looked into the production line. They found that it's unbalanced production line. It's basically a manual-based production line consists of many workstations. They identified the operation idle time, the non-added value activities, the raw material availability, and so on. And from that analysis, they came up with many points to be improved. As you see at the beginning, this was the production line. It was unbalanced. There was some waste time happening in between stations. And you can see that in one shift, the output was almost 144 units, utilizing 16 workers in that, on that line. But after the analysis that had been done and the study, the results were impressive. And actually, the change was huge. They eliminated the waste time. They changed the design. They simplified the workstations. The complicated activities that have been done were simplified. And we came up with a new design for that production line, in which a huge improvement. We reduced the overtime There was no overtime at the end where we get the same number of items, and that was a huge improvement. And not just that, the line was utilizing less manpower, 15 workers instead of the 16. These impressive results actually impacted our revenues, which was increased to 25%, exceeding the targets that been set at the beginning. We were actually targeting 20%, and the result exceeded that, and that is a great results. Of course, the team did not stop at this stage. They also tried to introduce more improvements and more aids to help the workers how to perform their operations. In terms of small things like labeling, visual aids for the workers to simplify their work. The beauty about this is not just the targets that have been met, also the investment that almost goes to zero investment in that line. I'm not talking about the program cost itself, I'm talking about investment in the production line during this process, which was really amazing. The journey did not stop at that stage. Of course, SIDF gave us a good program to build on. Our team has started the improvement of other production lines, equipped with the knowledge and the experience they gained from this program. They tackled other production lines, they improved their efficiency. Actually, the company, after having these kind of good results, they implemented a new section led by our members who joined this program. The section is targeting the production efficiency improvement. And this section has looked into the existing programs, the existing production lines, trying to do the redesign of these production lines, improving the efficiency, and the results keeps going on and on in other production lines. The activities did not stop at also the stage. Now we are introducing new products to the market, and now we are able to design an efficient line at the design stage, not at during the implementation, which is saving us a huge amount of time in the implementation stage, and give us the good results that we are looking for during the production and the execution of these lines. At the end, I would like to thank SIDF for giving us this opportunity, and hopefully we will continue these activities and these programs. And I really recommend everybody to join this program with SIDF for the future. It's the results, not just from my company, as Glenn had also shown in his slides, how many companies have benefited and how was the results that being gained by different companies. Thank you all for sharing this.
Thank you. Again, I like the ability to continue to improve after we've finished, because it hasn't stopped. And I think for me, this is the most rewarding thing. I want to thank our three participating companies for presenting their stories in such an eloquent and energizing way. And I think now we have questions. So, any questions for me or for the participants?
Assalamu alaikum, sabah al-khair, good morning. The question for the companies, but you are. My first question is, what are the challenges the companies faced during the implementation of Lean? And after that, so during doing the outcomes of the Lean initiative, what are the challenges during the implementation and afterward? The second question, do you believe that you need to do a second round of Lean for this company? And what do you think the frequency to do optimization, enhancement of process?
So this was for the companies, not me.
Well, in terms of challenges, I think if you have the commitment of the management, most of your challenges are eased. I mean, the main thing is if you get the commitment of and the desire of the management, this is one thing. Of course, the employees who are going to implement and the engineers who are going to implement the lean manufacturing in the company, they need to be equipped with knowledge, and they need to know what are the benefits, the future benefits, and they need to also to be promoted for this. To participate. Once you get this culture and motivation for different levels of the company, then you can start the implementation. And I believe once this implementation is being done and the results has been achieved, others who are change resistance, then it will be it will vanish, seeing what we can achieve.
I fully agree with what you have mentioned about the commitment to do the work. For me, the challenge is before starting the work, is not once you start it. At least in my case, this is what happened. Understanding that you can do better, understanding that you have some failures or at least some weak points. For me, this is the biggest problem. Before we start this work, I was almost frustrated because I knew we have a problem, but like I felt and I was like, I didn't have the capacity to solve it, at least as a company on my own. We can speak in theory overall how we can improve, but the issue is you need something to be done physically on the ground to change things. Now, I have just one, if I may, comment. It's not about doing a lean approach for the company. For me, if you try to look at it in a very broad way, I don't think you will be satisfied with the solution because you will have such a high expectations. But rather focus on a specific problem, on a specific area, and solve it. Once the management believes in the approach, the team will feel it, and you will be surprised with the capacity of the people, regardless of their position. Sometimes people, I'm sure, like as an executive or managing director, you don't even know, they will come up with some amazing ideas because it will trigger something in their mind and they will feel empowered to propose new ideas. So this is my take on it.
From our side, I think the challenge, it was a little bit different because in Tasnee, the senior management, they are supporting the lean manufacturing and the operation excellence department. We have it in Tasnee, but the resist that I face is from the low-level worker, like the operators and the worker in the field. He was unhappy of reducing the overtime, so he lose some of the amount that he was receiving in the end of the month. So this kind of reducing in the money, they will try to show you that this is not workable and return us back to the high overtime, give us more money, something like that. So unless that they change this thinking and participate in the program. Otherwise, it will be one of the drop that we will face it in the beginning of the program until they became familiar with it and they accept it.
Thank you. And excuse me, I'll ask this question in Arabic. سؤالي هو كيف توصف التجربة مع الصندوق؟ يمكن يكون فيه مدراء مصانع آخرين أو ناس مهتمة بالبرنامج. كيف كانت التجربة بشكل عام في البرنامج ومع الصندوق، وهل تنصحون فيها للمصانع الثانية؟
ما دام السؤال بالعربي يمكن تبغى أجاوب بالعربي. الحقيقة البرنامج كان جدا ممتاز ومختلف الحقيقة عن برامج أخرى يمكن سبقا شاركنا فيها. ميزة البرنامج أنه لا يكتفي فقط بالدراسة بل أيضا بالتنفيذ، والإخوان اللي شاركوا من الصندوق كانوا واقفين على الخط بنفسهم، يتابعون ويشاركون في عملية التنفيذ. يمكن قبل فترة كان في اجتماع على نفس على الموضوع والبرنامج، وكان سمو الأمير موجود وسأل نفس السؤال. والحقيقة كنت أقول حتى لو أنا إذا بيعيدون البرنامج أنا أول واحد بشارك. فالحقيقة أنا أنصح الشركات أنها تشارك في البرنامج هذا، لأنه في فائدة الحقيقة كبيرة والمردود واضح. ويمكن ما هو بس على الثلاث شركات اليوم المشاركة، لكن الشركات اللي عرضت كلها تقريبا استفادت من هذا البرنامج. يكاد لا يكون في أي شركة ما استفادت. والحقيقة القطاع نفسه، قطاع التصنيع، متعطش لمثل هذه البرامج.
بالنسبة لنا بهذا الموضوع أكيد هي صعبة الواحد ياخد قرار بالأول، لأنه ما عم تشتري سيرفيس واضح، ما عم تشتري برودكت واضح. فأنت في انفستمنت هلا ريجاردلس إذا تايم ولا وقت ولا مادة، ولكن أنت عم تعمل انفستمنت ومنك عارف شو المردود تبعه، منك ما عندك يو كانت كوانتيفاي الاوتكم تبع هذا الشيء. انا نحن كشركه اتليست حاولت جيب شركه خاصه، لانه كنت مثل ما قلت انه انا كان عندي نوع من يعني حاسس في بوتنشل، بس I wasn't able، ما كان عندي الامكانيه اني احققه. لما اجوا عملوا الاوفر، اول شيء كان السعر جدا مرتفع، هيدي اول نقطه. تاني شغله، انا كنت اشتغل كونسلتنسي قبل، قلت لهم للشباب يعني اخر النهار اي فلت حيعطوني باوربوينت والسلام عليكم. وهيدي الشغله اكيد اذا انا I was convinced I won't be able اني convince البورد انه يعطيني هيدا الفاينانسينج او هيدا البادجت. اللي عملوه الشباب صراحه كان اكثر من رائع. يعني اليوم اذا بيكون يعني لاني جربت هيدا البرنامج، اذا بيكون في علي فيز I'm willing to pay the fees، بس بنفس الوقت اذا برجع باكورد اكيد الواحد بده يكون مردد، لانه you don't know الاوتكم تبعها. بس بحكم التجربه مثل ما تفضل وذكر الاخ انه مش بس نحن، الشركات كلها، النتيجه كانت فعلا تفوق كل التوقعات.
بالنسبة لنا في تصنيع، يعني we are trying with Glenn to include our sister company, National Battery Company, to participate in this program, but he said that he will try to include our sister company. Usually they are not, they are looking for a different companies than they participate in the before. لكن بالنسبة لي في تصنيع شاركنا في عدة ورش عمل لتصنيع المرن. بعضها كانت بكونتراكت مع تصنيع، وبعضها كانت individual. And to be honest with you, this workshop, it was same like other workshop, that they will put for you a white wall and they will start to post the posting note with different color, and they say, yalla, this is the lean manufacturing, and try to implement what we put in this wall. SIDF it was different. كان مختلف جدا. الشباب دخلوا في المصنع، عرفوا البروسيس، عرفوا التشالنج، عرفوا الويكنس and the strong points, and مع بعض درسوا كيف ممكن أن نوصل إلى أفضل أداء بأقل تكاليف. فأنا أشوف أن هذا البرنامج كان جدا عفوا جدا مفيد لنا في رصاص. عشان كذا احنا نحاول قد ما نقدر أن ندخل شركاتنا الشقيقة في المشروع هذا. And I hope that we can achieve this. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Haytham Al-Ayadi from SEB Company. So I was quite impressed about the projects that we have seen today, and my simple question is about the resistance against the change. How did you face the change, the resistance against the change? What and how are you going to make sure that the improvement that you have done will be sustained? Thank you.
This is a very, very valid question. Obviously, the implementation of the program internally, it's not as easy as you can imagine. I will speak in my case. I mentioned roughly in the presentation the ego of the people. I had to, for example, we had one of the key people who was very stubborn, to call it as is, and he couldn't accept that there's a better way, especially after 20 years of experience running 140, as if I remember, expert welding in their field. To make it short, I had to send him on vacation, paid by the company. So yes, I did it. One of the lead foremans in the factory, I sent him to our site in Neom, so 1,500 kilometers away. Okay. And the last one who I felt he has the capacity to question himself, I brought him to my office, and I explained to him 3 factors before reaching the conclusion. The first, I told him that in terms of costing, we clearly have a problem, because I have some feedback regarding this new product that despite the quality, we have way higher prices, at least comparing to the market. We have a delay on a specific project of 3 weeks, purely due to the production capacity. So, and finally, when I am going to inspect the site, I'm noticing that it's not fluid. It's not, there's no, the flow is not correct. And now we have our colleagues from SIDF who came, and they are clearly saying there's a huge room for improvement. So can you convince me that the market is wrong, that the client was wrong, and or let's say our planning team was wrong, that when I'm going to the factory, we can go now and you can show me a perfect flow of work, and that the guys from SIDF don't know what they are talking about. So whether you do this now, or I need you to start from a white canvas. And you need to find someone in your team who will accept it, okay, and move on. But I had to, as I told you, send someone on vacation and someone to Neo. So yes, it's not easy always to implement. Once they came back, it was perfect, and they adopted the system. Because why? They want to be part of the success story. They don't want to be left out of it. But to ask them to start the change, not everyone will accept it.
Well, I totally agree with Faisal here in the resistance. For me, it begins from the team selection. When we started forming the team for this project, I looked for who is suffering the most in the production lines, who will accept this kind of activity to be implemented. And based on that, we selected our team members. And alhamdulillah, everything went good. The decision was right. They implemented. They were enthusiastic enough to implement, because they know how much they suffer from the lack of capacity, the less efficiency they have in their production line. Once the program gave the results which they believe that they can achieve, this has a domino effect on all the other employees. Okay, that was successful, we have achieved good results, and people start changing and accepting the reality of the new process.
From our side, like what I said in the beginning, we don't face it in the top management or in the employees, but we face it in the ground floor. And I think the most impact it will be in the employees, that he's speaking with other employees that this is affecting us, and start to rumors that it's not a good system, it's not a good program, we will not get any benefit. This is impacting also in the thinking of other people. When you encourage them to participate in the program, they are having a force from other side that it's not work. Like this one, usually we bring this employee that he resisted, and we just give him some responsibilities. So he will be leading some point, and we ask him for some data for it. So he pushed himself to participate, and usually we are encouraging him with the result that he's delivering it to us. It will not be perfect from the beginning, but we usually support him and give him the encourage to do more. Step by step, he will find himself that he is deep in the program, and he already participate, and he became one of the members. And usually the problem that we face in the overtime and the resistance of reducing it by the employees, we show them the difference between the benefit of the overtime, that it will be 200 riyal or 250 riyal per month, and the benefit of the high performance, and you will get a very high evaluation, and the bonus, it will be more sufficient for you, more than the overtime that you are getting. And sometimes we are going with the threat. We cannot do anything.
السلام عليكم. الله يعطيكم العافية وشكرا على البرزنتيشن. I will speak in Arabic after عبد الله العسكر open it. الحقيقة يمكن البرنامج هذا بدأناه من العام الماضي، والحمد لله فرحنا العام الماضي بالنتائج اللي صارت العام الماضي. اليوم أنا أسعد صراحة، وشكرا للفريق، إنه الأثر اللي تم في الشركات اللي تركناها استمرت في التطوير وطلعنا بنتائج زي ما شفنا جميلة جدا. أنا سؤالي، وش اللي صار بعد البرنامج اللي خلاكم تفكرون في التطوير المستمر؟ وين كانت قبل البرنامج؟ هل البرنامج صار له أثر؟ هل تدريب بعض الأشخاص معاكم أو مع الأشخاص اللي مع الصندوق كان له أثر؟ هذا السؤال الأول. السؤال الثاني، لو بغينا نكبر الأثر، الآن أنتم شايفين الموديل أو ستراكشر حق البرنامج، التدريب في البداية، وبعدين عمل دايجنوس، وبعدين يصير في عمل طويل امبلمنتيشن. هل عندكم وجهة نظر الشراكة 2 مع 2، 2 من الصندوق، 2 من القطاع الخاص؟ هل عندكم أي اقتراح أو رؤية فيما يخص البرنامج؟ وهكذا، وشكرا لكم.
يعطيك العافية وشكرا لك. في عدة مراحل. المرحلة الأولى اللي أنا أتليست اللي عشتها هي تغيير ثقافة الشركة لما شافوا النتيجة إنه لا، في هيوج ديفرنس صار، والكل استوعب الامباكت. بالأول كتير صعب الشخص يقدر لوين حنوصل، بس لما يبلش يشعر بالنتيجة، لأنه مثل ما تفضل وحكي زميلي إنه ليترون بيشوفوا النتيجة تبعهم. يعني أنت بدل ما يكون دايما سوري عم ياكلها بهدلة على التأخير، على المشاكل، على عدم احترام السكادجول، وبين ما يصير في عنده هالمحفزات وبتصير تشكر فيه وتمدحه ومن المانجمنت تبعه. فهيدي أول شيء بتغير مقاربة جميع الموظفين لهيدي المنتاليتي أو لهي الثقافة الجديدة. في تاني نقطة هي صار في رغبة عند التيم بالمشاركة بدورات الاس اي دي اف، وحتى كمانجمنت. يعني مثلا عندكم دورات بدها 3 أيام، طيب 3 أيام هودي من هي مدفوعين، فاذا في عندي 10 اشخاص بدهم يعملوا دورات خلال سنه بيصير فيها امباكت. فمثلا بالاول ما كنا اتليست عم ناخذ هذا الموضوع بعين الاعتبار، بالعكس اليوم ان كان الاتش ار بالشركه بيشجع. ليه؟ لانه صار في ثقه باللي عم يطرحه الصندوق كامباكت، يعني اذا بدك كنتيجه. وبالتالي نحن اتليست كشركه هلا الاسبوع الماضي كان في على السبلاي تشين، كان في عندي 2 من الشركه 3 ايام هون عم بيشاركوا بالسبلاي تشين. سو ثاني امباكت هو هيدا الموضوع بالنسبه لي. الشغله اللي بدي اضيفها للمستقبل انا مستصعبها يعني كشركه، هو وطرحتها وقتها مع الشباب، في برنامج سيري من وزاره الصناعه. نحن سجلنا، انعمل التقييم لنا واعطونا ليستا 30 اذا ماني غلطان او 35 اكشن ثيوريتيكال تو بي تيكن. طيب نحن رجعنا لنفس المشكل، انه حدا اعطاني رابور وما قدر طبقه. اذا في امكانيه الصندوق، يعني هيدي البادره كتير حلوه، يدمجها او يضيف عليها وذر مرتبطه فيها او ان باراليل اوبشن لمساعده الشركات. لانه الحلو هون شغله بدي اذكرها للجميع، انه دائما الواحد بيفكر امبروفمنت وما امبروفمنت، وبالتالي في هيوج فاينانشال انفستمنت. حتتفاجئوا قد ايه حجم الانفستمنت ايام بيكون زهيد مقارنه بالبوتنشال اوتكم. احنا هون عملنا تحسين من وجهه نظري قريب ال 40% على هالمنتج، ما بظن تكلفنا فوق ال 50,000 ريال يعني على الموضوع كله. انا عندي ريتيرن 35 مليون، حاطط 50,000 انفستمنت. ولكن من تاني ميل لما بدي اطلع بسيري، لارجع على موضوع سيري، نظريا اذا بدي اطبق كل الملاحظات اللي اعطوني اياها يمكن تكلف لي 5-10 مليون، اي دونت نو. فهون في الادد فاليو للصندوق، يمكن يرافقنا بالريكومنديشن، نبلش بالستبس اللي هي ما ضروري تكون ضمن اللين، بس اللي بتسمح لنا نحسن ترتيب السيري تبعنا. هيدي شغله اذا فيكم تساعدوا فيها الشركات بتكون ممتازه يعني.
في الحقيقة يعني يمكن بالنسبة للسؤال ليش ما بادرتوا بالأشياء هذه أو بادرت الشركات بتطبيق اللين مانيفاكتشرنج أو الحلول تطوير الكفاءة قبل البرنامج، أعتقد لها يمكن 3 أسباب. السبب الأول قلة الخبرات اللي موجودة لتطبيق مثل هالبرامج. الثاني التخوف من الفشل. اللي بيجيك المهندسين بيحاولون يطبقون الاشياء ذي، لو فشلوا بياخذون تأنيب من ادارتهم، انتم سويتوا وعملتوا ما فعلتوا. الثالث اللي هو مثل ما قال اخوي فيصل هنا، انه تجارب سابقه مع استشاريين، وهل النتائج كانت اوكي، هذا النظري، لكن يبقى التطبيق كيف بتطبق. المختلف في البرنامج انه يعني قدم لك الاستشاره، وراك الطريقه اللي كيف تنفذ فيها هذا البرنامج، واعطاك النتائج، اعطاك التشجيع، فكسر عندك كل حواجز الخوف السابقه اللي كنت متخوف منها. طبعا التجارب السابقه مع الاستشاريين دائما الشركات تحاول تحط استشاري، إذا فشل المشروع قالوا كله من الاستشاري، إذا نجح المشروع قالوا زين هذا استشاري كويس. فيعني العملية إنه الآن البرنامج كان زي ما قلت لك يعني في السابق إنه مختلف، لأن فيه آلية التنفيذ، وهذا كان الشيء اللي فرق كثير عن البرامج الأخرى، إنه كيف تنفذ الأفكار اللي طبقتها. التطوير مستمر طبعا، اكيد انت اعطيتني الادوات اللي اقدر اكمل فيها البرنامج هذا، من ناحيه انه اعطيتني التدريب، اعطيتني الادوات، وريتني الطريقه، مسكت ايدي ومشيتني لين وصلت للنتائج. فهذا كان محفز كبير لكل الموظفين، بالذات المهندسين اللي شاركوا في البرنامج، عطوا انطباع جيد، نقلوا هذه المعرفة المهندسين آخرين، واستمرت عملية التطوير. بالنسبة وش ممكن يكون أكثر، الحقيقة البرنامج يعني عطى يعني مكان كثير من المشاركين كانوا يفتقرون له، لكن يمكن أتفق مع أخوي فيصل في عملية أنه ممكن يتوسع ليشمل بنود أخرى. يعني اللين مانيفاكتشرنج واحد من الأشياء اللي يطور فيها كفاءة الشركة، لكن دائما التوجه هو كيف تصل للاندستريال ريفولوشن 4.0. هذه واحدة من الخطوات، لكن هل البرنامج الصندوق عنده رؤية أنه يمسك إيدنا زيادة يوصلنا ل 4.0 ولا لا؟ ممكن تكون هذا مقترح للمستقبل يعني.
من وجهة نظري أنا أشوف أنه يعني زي ما ذكرت قبل كذا أن التصنيع تعاملت مع مختلف المستشارين أو الاستشاريين في التصنيع المرن، لكن زي ما قلت كانت أغلبها وركشوب عادية، ما في انفولفمنت في البرودكشن لاين ولا كان في دراسة للبروسيس. احنا عارفين ان اللين مانيفاكتشرنج يطبق على كل الشركات، لكن يعني ما هو كافي انك فقط تحط نظريات وعلى ورق ويلا طبقوا بعدين يروحون يطلعون مع الباب. انا اشوف انه اكثر شيء فادنا كان الانفولفمنت في البروسيس، وهذا اعطى ثقة في البرنامج اضافية من ناحية الادارة العليا. فهذه كانت من النقاط الممتازة في المشروع هذا في البرنامج. أنا أشوف أنه أغلب الشركات الآن مشاركين في السيري أسسمنت من وزارة الصناعة زي ما ذكروا الأخوان فيصل وإياد، لكن أنا أشوف الانفولفمنت حقهم ليس مشابه للبرنامج اللي أطلقه الصندوق الصناعي الآن. كل ما في الموضوع أنهم يعطون دعم وأنت تسوي الإمبلمنتيشن، وحتى الشركات اللي تسوي لك السيري أسسمنت يسوي الأسسمنت ويعطيك الريبورت ويقول لك اتصرف. فهذا شيء مختلف تماما عن اللي سواه الصندوق الصناعي في برنامج التصنيع المرن. فأنا I recommend that they can improve في وزارة الصناعة شوية ويصير فيها involve زيادة، زيارات من engineers أو مهندسين أو consultant يكونوا هم متفقين معاهم، لأن أنا أشوف أن المبادرة في وزارة الصناعة على السيري أو مصانع المستقبل أو مصانع الأتمتة، أنا أشوف أن الأفضل أنها to be handled by them، أن هم يكونوا مسؤولين عن البرنامج هذا. واحد من الأشياء المهمة أنا أشوف أنه يعني الشغلة الأساسية للصندوق الصناعي اللي هو إعطاء القروض لتنمية الصناعة. إذا في إمكانية أن المصنع قبل لا يستلم الدفعات والأشياء هذه أعطينا خطتك للتصنيع المرن كيف حتكون، وهل أنت مدخل فيها ديجيتاليزيشن أو تبغى تفتح مصنع المعدات حقت قبل 20 سنة قبل. هذا الشيء يأثر، أنتوا حتعطون اللون وهو حيبدأ مصنع التكنولوجي حقته قبل 20 سنة. هل حط في باله البرامج حقت التصنيع المرن هل ممكن تتطبق؟ بعض المصانع يحط المصنع في كورنر على اليمين وبعد الوير هاوس حاط 400 متر عن المصنع الأساسي. فعملية الترانسبورتينج والترانسفيرينج للماتيريال والرو ماتيريال حيحصل فيها تايم لوزنج جدا عالي، وممكن تكون هذه من الأشياء اللي تسبب لوزنج في الكمباني وما حيقدر يسدد بصراحة الأقساط حقت الصندوق. فأنا أشوف أنه لابد أنه يكون فيه توجيه للشركات اللي بتبدأ، إيش الخطة اللي أنت باني عليها مشروعك، غير الفيسابيليتي ستادي وأنه مجدي أو غير مجدي. هل أنت عندك استعداد أنك تطبق الأشياء هذه؟ هل عندك استعداد أن أنت تسوي تطوير وسستين التطوير هذا بحيث أنه يكون مستمر على المدى البعيد إلى أنك توصل إلى أفضل النتائج؟ أنا أشوف أن هذا أفضل شيء يعني ممكن يصير.
شكرا لكم على وجودكم معنا في مفضل، وشكرا أعطانا الفرصة للعمل سوية في البرنامج، فأنتم اللي فعلا أثبتوا أن البرنامج الحمد لله آتى بنتائج. هذه الفيز الثانية للسنة الثانية الحمد لله النتائج جدا رائعة وتشجعنا صراحة للاستمرار والتوسع.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. I guess what we've learned today is that the principles are simple, but the reality is there's a lot of hard work. You need to be tenacious. There's commitment, and we need leadership, strong leadership, in order to make improvement successful and sustainable. And we've seen that today through the three contributors and their examples of great leadership. I'd like to thank the participants today. And at SIDF, we'd like to present some trophies to each one. So to present those trophies, I'd like to invite Adel Al-Sharif and Abdullah Al-Sayari to present the trophies to the participants.